Hi guys, thank you for coming to our page. This exercise is a ball mastery exercise aimed at the beginner level. The emphasis of this exercise is to get as many touches on the ball as you possibly can in a short space of time, while also using always the proper technique. For this exercise, all you need, 5 cones, markers, whatever you have lying around the house, and 1 soccer ball. Okay, so we're going to go through 3 different progressions today. You'll see the player working. We'll come back and talk about it a little bit, but let's get going. So as you can see there, the player starts on the first cone working on toe taps. They're going to do 10 on each foot as quickly as they possibly can. They move on to the second cone where they do tick-tocks inside of the feet, 10 each side as quickly as they can. And then on cones 3 and 4, we're going to repeat cones 1 and 2. And once you're done with cone 4, you accelerate as fast as you can, dribbling with that ball to get across that cone that's 5 yards away for a sprint finish. And the 3 takeaways from this exercise, which are going to be the same throughout this whole session: always have your head up as much as possible when you're doing the work. You always want to play with intensity, make it as match realistic as you possibly can, and then keep the proper technique. Keep that ball as close to you as you can, keep close control of it, don't let it run away from you. In that second progression, we were working on our foundations or triangles. So you can see on the first cone, we started drag the ball back with your right foot and then do a tick-tock to make that triangle, just like a foundation. We did 10 starting with our right foot, moved on to the second cone, 10 with our left foot, and then the same things on cones 3 and 4, again, just like the first exercise, and then always finish with that sprint finish. Again, can you play with intensity? Can you make it as match realistic as possible? Don't just go through the motions. Secondly, can you get your head up whenever possible? Try and scan the field as you're doing that skill. And then finally, make sure that you keep close control of that ball. Keep the proper technique. Don't let that ball get too far away from your foot. final phase here, we stepped it up just a little bit. On the first cone, we went from outside of the right foot to inside, and then switched feet and went outside to inside, and kept the rhythm going like that. We did 10 on either side. We moved on to that second cone, and it's very similar, except this time, outside of the foot touch, drag it back across. Outside of the foot touch, drag it back across with the sole of your boot. Again, guys, the takeaways from this progression, just like the previous two exercises: intensity, intensity, intensity. Keep that head up as much as you possibly can. Stay scanning the field, and then finally, and even more important on this one, keep close control of that ball. If you take a touch with the outside of your foot and the ball runs away from you, then you're going to be dispossessed in a game. So there you have it, guys. A nice simple exercise that you could do in the house, in your bedroom, outside the house, wherever you have space. Again, this one was aimed at the beginner level, but it's very easy to advance this one either by stretching out the distance between the cones, stretching out the distance between that sprint finish. You may even add in a fitness element by maybe doing a couple push-ups after each repetition. And whatever you want to get out of it, you can take this exercise where you want to go. But whatever you're doing, remember those 3 key points we talked about. Number 1, play with intensity. Make it as match realistic as you possibly can. Number 2, keep your head up as much as possible. And finally, keep close control of that ball. Use the proper technique. Never let it run away from your feet. Thanks, guys.